NHL regular season recap night 109. We kick things off with an Atlantic Division matchup between the Ottawa Senators and Detroit Red Wings. And Shane Pinto has his biggest game of the year to this point in what has been a short season for him so far. Daniel Sprong opens the scoring about halfway through the first period. In the second, it's Mark Kostelik and Brady Tkachuk both scoring, making it 2-1 Sens after 2. Dylan Larkin also ties it about halfway through the third period. We force OT, and Shane Pinto gets the game winner there with just his second of the year. Again, an abbreviated season for him, to say the least, but Joonas Korpisalo, a pretty good game in this one as well. 23 of 25, a .920 save percentage, while Alex Lyon goes 22 of 25 for an .880 save percentage in the losing effort. Neither of these guys were bad. Obviously, Lyon just one goal more than Korpisalo, and that being in overtime. So hard to blame him on this one, but good to see Korpi have good back-to-back games, and it's a big win for the Senators. They're still in 8th in the Atlantic, but improved to 20, 25, and 2, while the Wings fall to 26, 18, and 6. The Kings taking on the Predators, and this one had to be a spirit-lifting game for the Kings. They finally get a win, just their third in like the last month, and we get the first career goal of Alex Turcotte. He also throws an assist in this one. Dave Riddick with a massive game. He goes 39 for 41, while UC Saros goes just 20 for 23. In the first, Carl Grundstrom with his 8th of the year makes it 1-0 LA. In the second is where Alex Turcotte gets his first career goal, making it 2-0 Kings after 2. Forsberg would make it 2-1 about 5 minutes into the third, but Trevor Lewis adds one more to make it 3-1 LA. Tomasino makes it 3-2 with about 3.5 to go to make it interesting, but with a little over a minute to play, Kevin Fiala with his 13th of the year on the empty net, and it's a 4-2 final for Los Angeles. A much-needed win for them, and once again, a loss for the Preds that just stings, man. They're in this one all night long. They outshoot the Kings basically 2-1 and just aren't able to come up with the victory. And this is, once again, a team that's pushing for a playoff spot. They haven't made any deals indicating whether they're buying or selling, but if these losses keep adding up, they're going to have to be forced to sell just because there's plenty of teams still hungry and in the hunt for a playoff spot. LA, of course, being one of them, St. Louis, Seattle, the list kind of goes on there. So a tough loss for the Preds, but a very big win for the Kings, who finally get on the right side of the win column. Final game, which I did not, unfortunately, care to stay up for. Apologies to Sharks and Ducks fans, but of course this one between the Sharks and the Ducks, the basement of both the Pacific Division and the league, but it actually ended up being a pretty tight game. In the first period, Isaac Lundestrom and Anthony Duclair both scoring to make it 1-1. Mark-Edouard Vlasic with his second goal in 2 games makes it 2-1 Sharks after 2, but in the third period, Troy Terry ties it with just over a minute to go to force OT, where Frank Vetrano, who's been pretty cold lately, scores his 22nd of the year from Terry as well, and Jackson Lacombe, and it's a 3-2 overtime win for the Ducks. Relatively even on the shots here, 34-28 in favor of Anaheim. Capo Kakinen, of course, the busier of the two goalies with this, but John Gibson able to pick up the victory. And that's going to be it for NHL regular season recap. Night 109, we got a little bit of a break here with the All-Star games, but I'll figure out some content to come up with for you guys, and we will return to the nightly recaps on, I believe, February 5th.